Babies. That's it.
Alright. Let me make sure that this is ready here. Alright, in that case, welcome everyone for... Oh, hold on, no, I forgot one thing. There it is. Okay. Welcome everyone for another Week 1 match of UFO 50 Bingo League. I mean, if people aren't aware, there's 3 matches going on right now. I think it's kind of the most matches we've had starting at any single moment, so... If you want to see some other matches, make sure to tune into some Twitch channels as well, KG28 and CO something another. But yeah, on this stream, we will have a guy versus JoeyBlast. If both of you want to say something real quick.
Hello, it's me, I'm again.
Hi, my name is Joey, she, her. I haven't played UFO 50 in a while, and I thought this would be fun. And it's only seats here, so not much pressure, right? Yeah.
That'll be fun. We're here for a good time.
Yeah.
Alright, I'll go over the rules again real quick because it's Week 1, and well, I should probably just go over the rules every single time anyways. So the only document you're allowed to consult during the match is the rules document. It contains a lot of useful information. I would recommend keeping it up somewhere. The match... It is lockout bingo, so the match will last up to 1 hour and 45 minutes. If after 1 hour 45 minutes there is no winner, then the winner will be whoever has the most squares. In the event that both players have the same amount of squares, it'll be whoever got their last square first. Of course, it is bingo, so if you get bingo, you automatically win. And also, if somebody gets to 13 squares, which is the majority of the squares, and there are no more bingos possible for the other person to make, that is also an instant victory. Yeah, other than that, I think that about covers it. Any questions?
For the bingo sheet, am I gonna have to update that myself, or are you gonna update it as I do stuff?
The bingo sync? No, you need to click on your own squares as you finish them.
Right, I figured.
Yeah. So have it open somewhere. I have it open on my phone, and just click it whenever you finish something.
Yeah, I have it open on second monitor, yeah.
Yeah, that'll work.
Yep, just bingo sync, UFO 50, and the rules document. Those are the 3 things you really need. Well, if both of you are ready, let me get your streams shown on screen.
I will switch back to Discord briefly after the countdown starts to mute and deafen.
Oh, right, yeah. Thank you for reminding me. Last thing, when it starts, I would like both of you to deafen, so that you can't hear the other person.
Yep.
Okay, in that case, let me just hide your screen until we're going. Alright, both of you ready? In that case, so, right, forgetting bits of the rules as well. So what's going to happen is I'm going to say 3, 2, 1, go, and then we're all going to click to reveal the bingo card, at which point you have 30 seconds to look at the bingo card. You're not allowed to play the game during those 30 seconds. Right. After the 30 seconds are up, then I'll say another go. You can start playing the game and you'll deafen. Okay, in that case, let's get going momentarily. Let's reveal the card in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. And we'll start playing the game in 3, 2, 1, go. Good luck, players. Alright, we got some squares here. Now let me just arrange all my stuff real quick, as I usually do, so I can start tracking general goals as well. So we got max HP. We got Mooncat, we got Minion Max going right off the bat. Those are two games I would not expect to see. Especially Minion Max, that's a bold pick to go off of. That indicates a lot of knowledge. And a guy is looking pretty good in Mooncat. I know a guy specifically has not necessarily played that many games, but has speedrun a couple of games, Mooncat being one of them, so they definitely have an advantage there. Is UFO open a new square? I believe it is. Yeah, I remember people talking about it yesterday. Okay, so we got max HP. We have defeat 7 bosses, so I'm going to keep track of that. We have 2 arcade leaderboards. That is, I think, the smallest arcade leaderboard's goal. We also have 2 cherry discs. Now that could be tricky. I have a bunch of gold discs on here as well. And then, of course, the UFO open. Yeah, Mooncat is actually one of the hardest UFO 50 speedruns, if you ask me. I also forgot to mute the stream. You can't even hear anyways, but... yeah, there's a lot of tough squares on here. So, JoeyBlast probably going for saving the brainwashed mouse. I don't know if that counts as a boss, actually. Let me double check that. A guy going for 2 warps. I think he just got it, yeah. He actually got it earlier because getting the warp that leaves the first warp counts as a second warp. So, that's an easy square for a guy. Now going into Overbold. Doesn't seem to be going for a particular bingo then. Meanwhile, JoeyBlast going... I'll just call it Joey. Joey continuing Minion Max, probably just going to go for the brainwashed mouse if she knows where that is. There's not much else to be doing there. Overbold is good for... increasing your max HP, maybe? Probably just increasing your max HP. Yeah, there's not too many bosses in Minimax, although if you know where they are and how to get to them, they're pretty fast. JoeyBlast, I do think, is on the correct path to get to the mouse. Ooh, I think she forgot. You need the glove to pick that up. Yeah, gets the extra HP upgrade, so I'm going to mark that off. That's 1 extra HP upgrade. Into Porgy, yeah. They're going to just be going for all the max HP upgrades. So I'm guessing they're going for row 1, which means they're going to get blocked by that Minion Max goal for sure. Hello, everyone, by the way. I forgot to say hi to everyone because I was setting up. Yeah, Fuel Tank and Porgy, excellent max HP upgrade. Alright, let me get the document up so I just don't miss anything. That's a very easy one. It's going to be a 2nd HP upgrade. Nothing else in Porgy to do here, I don't think. No. Alphazars. Yes, this is maybe a bit of a trickier one, but it is not too bad. You have to get 3 of the purples, I believe. The purple upgrade or whatever. The purple upgrade is a bit more rare than the other ones, and if you accidentally pick up one of the other ones, then you have to start over, so that could be a bit challenging. Oh, get the rules up, get the rules up. Alright, JoeyBlast definitely on the way to the mouse now. Right, you have to give them something, don't you? I forgot what it was. Honey from the bee? The music playing on the stream is a playlist about, not really a playlist, it's just all videos by I forgot what it called, Maritumix? Maritumix. They make a lot of Toho remixes specifically. And they already got it, so they're going in for Minion Max, going for an HP upgrade in Minion Max. If they know where that is, that's pretty impressive. I would not know where to go for an upgrade in Minion Max. There's a couple that just give you like a flat out heart. Some of them are no, nothing's actually random in Minion Max. They're all the places where you can find them are static. And usually you find like hard pieces, but there's some places that give you a full hard container, I believe. JoeyBlast grabbing the nuke. That's the correct, well, not necessarily the correct way, but it's the fastest way to save the brainwashed mouse. 7 upgrades are right around the portrait under it. God damn. Oh, there you go. Now going for Block Koala instead. Now Block Koala would be beat 5 story levels. Now that's a little bit of a bold play, but I'm assuming they know what they're doing. I do wonder, I think they're maybe not trying to go for any bingos specifically, they're just going for squares. Because it's only in column 3. But at the same time, they were in Alphazars earlier, and they didn't continue after the HP upgrade, so who really knows? Uh-oh. they maybe hop in Block Koala without necessarily thinking it through. Although it seems like they'll be fine. Block Koala is maybe the most worrying game to see someone step in and, you know, they don't necessarily look super confident in it. It's like, oh god, this could be an endless time sink. Especially in Lockout Bingo, a time sink is not exactly what you want. Oh, you can do a lot of crazy stuff in Minion Max. I would highly recommend, I think some of this stuff got patched, so I don't know how accurate it is still, but the Minion Max speedrun was very good to look at last time I looked at it. Alright, a guy on the 3rd Block Koala level. Block Koala's true specialty reveals itself, just going around to find a path to push the block. Yeah, JoeyBlast has everything they need at this point. Well, do they? I don't... I thought they were going for the nuke, but then they don't have the backpack, so they couldn't have carried the nuke here, at least. Okay, so here's the boss fight to save the brainwashed nuke. If you have the brainwashed mouse, if you have the nuke, you can just instantly clear this out. It looks like they'll be just fighting it the old-fashioned way. Doesn't take too long either. Because I don't remember it taking too long. Hope I'm not wrong about that. Although it is a problem if you throw some blocks at them and the fire takes it out, or if you get hit. That is unfortunate. Dipping out of minion max, that's unfortunate after 10 minutes. I mean, if they choose to go back to it later, it's fine. They still have some of the upgrades that they got. The glove, in particular. Hopping in a Seaside Drive, where's glove, speaking of? So for Seaside Drive, what we have is nothing in particular, so they're probably aiming for defeat 7 bosses then. Well, unless I'm never very good at reading. Yeah, could be some bosses, could also do some arcade leaderboards here. Not a bad plan at all, actually. If you're doing, like, up to stage 3 clear here, and then, you know, you have an accident, honestly, you could just go all the way to the end. There is a goal for Cherry Disc. You could Cherry Seaside Drive, get on a top 3 on one arcade leaderboard, and defeat, like, what, 4 bosses by doing that? That's pretty good. Well, that was in the match chat. He's missing Seaside. He's missing Seaside. He doesn't know what he's missing. Alright, guy finishing their 4th level now. Just one more to go. Yeah, I think in terms of making progress on general goals, I do think Seaside Drive is probably the best play here. Caramel could be in contention, but Caramel is probably a bit longer if you're going for Cherry Disc. Or just in general, honestly, it's kind of long because of the intermission stages. Neither players have any bosses yet, I don't think. No, I didn't miss that. Although, would that thing in Minion Max have counted as a boss? I don't think it did. Let us look at the bosses list. No, it would not have. Okay, so that is 5 story levels in Block Koala. Well, let's see where he's going here. He's looking. Campanella. Beat Galbrain. That's fair. That is a very fast goal as well. So yeah, it looks like Guy's strategy here is just going to be going for fast goals mostly. Trying to get the majority win. Which probably is the strongest tactic. Maybe not the strongest tactic. As always, getting a bingo is kind of an instant win. It's very powerful, but going for a lot of squares is also very powerful in Lockout Bingo. Especially because a lot of the goals can be very, very short. I mean, defeat Galbrain, this is what, 2.5 minutes? Now, I'm actually looking at this again. I don't see any goals or any 2 goals that actually are in the same... There's no game... Well, I'm struggling to word this. There's no game that shows up twice in these bingo squares, actually. Which is surprising. I think you usually see at least one game show up twice. Like quick squares and build your bingo after? Yeah. Well, honestly, at that point, if you're going for quick squares, just go to 13. Yeah, I guess if we count UFO Open, then Gulf Area is there twice. How long would UFO Open realistically be? Not that long. Hit a Parbot can be done in a minute if you know what you're doing. Pin Golf Gold Disc is 5 minutes if you know what you're doing, and then Lords of Disconia is Lords of Disconia, but that is probably the most generous Disconia goal there. Probably like a 10-minute goal, honestly. That's really not that bad. I forgot to mark down one boss for JoeyBlast. A guy also coming up on their first boss right here with Galbrain. Curious to see if they're going to continue. Probably not, if I had to guess. There's not much, other than just increasing your boss's count, there's not much to gain from continuing to play Campanella 3 here. And considering what a guy's strategy might be here, I don't think they're going to be making a lot of progress on defeat 7 bosses, which is a pretty big general goal. Otherwise, that is one boss down for a guy just now. And they are not continuing. Instead, we'll be going to... They're thinking. JoeyBlast on their second boss down. Making good progress. Kick Club. Kick Club's a couple of bosses for sure. It does have an arcade leaderboard as well. And there is... Ooh, I actually didn't see that. Kick Club does have 2 squares for it. Beat Track World, which is World 2, and Gold Disc as well, which I believe is going to be one of the very hards on here. I'm not very familiar with the very hards, but if I had to keep track, I think it's Kick Club, Gold Disc, and Alphazar's Stage 3. Not necessarily very hard, the very longs, I think. Because very long and very hard's probably just about the same. So both players kind of in a similar spot here. A guy probably if they know what they're doing, I think Kick Club is probably slightly better than Seaside Drive. You can, I think in 3, I'm not too sure about this. I might be saying nonsense. I believe you can do Kick Club Gold Disc in about 11-12 minutes. Which is a little bit faster than Seaside Drive. It's really not faster by much. And I would say Kick Club is a considerably harder game. Especially when the ball starts doing that. At the end, they're probably going to get a very similar gain here if they both go all the way to the end. The only difference is that on this particular board, there's no Seaside Drive goals, but there are 2 Kick Club goals. That's going to be the main benefit for a guy here. You're going to be getting the same number of bosses. Yeah, that Seaside Run's been clean. I don't think they've actually... No, they did go to the bonus game for Stage 2, which that's kind of impressive, I'm not going to lie. And I think that's like the one stage I never really got the bonus game on. Yeah, 4 1-ups. Really not bad at all. So far, a guy doing just fine in Kick Club as well. So yeah, they're both going to get 4 bosses. If they go all the way to the end, that is, they're both going to get 4 bosses, 1 leaderboard, and, what was the other thing that I was saying? Potentially 1 cherry disc as well. I don't necessarily know. I'm not really familiar with the... Ooh. The Seaside Drive cherry thresholds. I know it's 300,000 points for the cherry. I don't really know if JoeyBlast is on track for that or not. The guy seems to be doing just fine. I mean, getting the cherry in Kick Club is not that much harder than the gold. It's mostly just getting the gold is already insanely hard. JoeyBlast on the 3rd boss of Seaside Drive now. I don't necessarily think you need 2 bonuses, but it is a nice guarantee. They definitely got at least 1 bonus, so it should be fine. At worst, you know, it's no cherry, but they still get 4 bosses and a leaderboard out of it. a guy just got another boss, finished with stage 1 of Kid Club. So yeah, they're both getting 4 bosses, 1 leaderboard entry, and maybe 1 cherry disc if they play very, very well. The only difference is that a guy is also getting 2 bingo squares that are related to Kid Club. That is really the main benefit of choosing this. Taking a fair amount of deaths here could be dicey. They're definitely, as long as they stay at the end, I think they're probably in top 3 for the leaderboards right now. That should not be a problem. Don't be on the water! On their last life now. I don't think they're killing it. I think they're... No, they might be killing it. I think they were just going for the leaderboard. They did pick up some bosses along the way, so that's nice. Just staying. Yep, that is top 3 for the leaderboard, and they're good to go on that front. Not going to be going for the cherry. So now they have progress towards bosses and leaderboards. Nothing to do for max HP. Going in for Devilition. There is a Devilition square. It doesn't actually relate to... I guess you could get a boss in Devilition, but I think unless you're the most cracked player in the world, there's no real reason to be going for that one. So now the Devilition, you have to completely, fully clear the board with 10 pieces remaining, which they will not be able to do on this one. But I think you can realistically going for that sort of goal on round 1, unless you start with your T or your tier A piece, which is your cannon, rocket, or the bomb. Unless you start with one of those, it's not really realistic to go for it on the first round. You know, this is a lot more doable. That's not how I do that, but... yeah, so some decisions were taken there for sure. And here comes the handy, the rocket. Fantastic for full clears, but it's coming in a little bit too late, so it's not going to be 10 pieces again. Meanwhile, a guy at the end of Kid Club World 2 now. Yeah, well, third round's the charm, and they do have a rocket to start with this time. Although not a lot of pieces. That leaves them only 8 pieces to start this with. And the rocket does count as 2 pieces. Yeah, and then now you also have to deal with the purple guys. At this point, I think the best thing to do for Devilition is probably to just restart it. It's unfortunate, but... so now they've just beaten Track World. I think doing it on the second round is probably the best thing to do. Especially with that one stuck in the corner over there. Oh no, they just got it actually. Okay, a guy choosing not to mark Track World. I'm wondering if they just didn't see it and they were just going for Kid Club for other stuff. Oh, this board sucks. They do have a lot of pieces, but this board sucks. Okay, they did just mark Track World. And they also increased their boss count to 3, so they're now tied on bosses, 3-3. some smart play here. No, don't do that. You forgot one. Forgot two, actually. Are they maybe just storing up pieces? That'll get them to round 5, but at this point there's going to be a lot of purples on screen. Now, so a guy continuing in Kid Club, so they are probably going for gold disc. Yeah, 30 pieces with this, I'm not, yeah, that's not happening. Choosing to go for something else instead of staying there. Waldorfs, we have 35 shells at once here. If you're going to be going for 35 shells at once, going for the cherry disc here is not that far off. Cherry disc is 50 shells and beating the game. I'm not much of a Waldorf head, but if you are a Waldorf head, this is a pretty good play. A guy taking some unfortunate deaths. The hardest part of Kid Club is World 4 right at the end, so you definitely want to save up some lives to get to that. Yeah, definitely taking the slow and steady approach to Waldorfs here. Are going to be going for the shells for sure. Unfortunately, they couldn't find a key before that first chest, though. A chest I believe holds 10 shells. They are running out of fuel as well. Be careful with their jumps here. Ah, what a beautiful dodge. Get that bird, but don't forget to go back down. There was a big shell down there. Oof, uh-oh. That's dicey. That's dicey. Well, it has the bird. That does not count as a landing, so I'll have to redo that jump, though. Ah, not the wind. Yeah, wind here when you have no fuel is... That's dire. The last thing you want to see, really. They're making some clean jumps, though. They're making some really clean jumps. Yeah, it's definitely... Again, I think Kid Club Gold Disc is one of the 2 very hard goals on this. But, if it pays off, it's going to pay off big. You desperately want to get that, wind thingy. Stan, aren't you playing? Am I going crazy? Yeah, Joey proving to be like one of the best Waldorf players out there right now. Oh, your match got rescheduled. A guy... Ooh, it's... I have a feeling this is not going to end very well. They want to play on a laptop? That is fair. That is fair. Alright. Joey has a key. Still has 1 bird as well to save. Yeah, a guy taking a death. No surprise there. USA World is... USA World. Still did get 3 bosses and a leaderboard as well. So similar situation to what happened in Seaside Drive earlier for Joey. We'll be going back into Alphazars. Presumably going all the way to stage 3 then. Which would get them the 7 bosses if they've been keeping track of that. And if they choose to go a little further, and they're playing very well, could also be a cherry disc. That's not much further than stage 3. Oh, Joey taking a death there. Yeah, it's the fuel usage was not necessarily the greatest. Although it's very easy to just accidentally use all your fuel in Waldorf's, honestly. A very understandable mistake. It was pretty unfortunate, too, with that first chest showing up, I think, before any key could possibly spawn. A guy definitely taking Alphazars pretty slowly. For the record, you can just totally run past all the enemies if you don't really care about their pickups. Joey hesitating between going back to the library, picking a different square, or continuing with Waldorf's. It has been 30 minutes. She still does not have a single square on the board. It is a bit unfortunate. A lot of progress for general goals, though. Could totally snipe a guy on some of those general goals for sure. Maybe not the boss one. She's a boss behind right now. But the leaderboard one. Oh, that pig. I'm sorry, that pig got demolished. Alright, got the key. Used up all the fuel. A guy continuing to make their way out of World 1, Stage 1, just taking it very slowly. Not a problem, considering Joey's not even anywhere remotely close to that. But it could backfire, you never know. Now, Joey not necessarily having a lot of Waller fuel. No, don't close! You have 3 birds! No, keep going! You have 3 birds! No. Okay, thank God. You got this. Oh yeah, no more fish fuel. And that wind can definitely escalate things in the wrong way. But if they find a chest, then they have the 35. And they still have a good amount of a back of birds. The only problem here is that wind. If they can make it to that little wind thingy up there, then they'll be fine. Well, you definitely want shells there. Whoa. Oh no! That was crazy! That would have been the sickest Waldorf play of all time! Continuing in Waldorf's, very fair. They're getting very close. Yeah, I do think this is one of the better things to go for right now. Again, it is 35 shells. You're pretty close to Cherry Disc. I think this is totally worth going for, even if you have to spend a bit of time on it. Waldorf's being one of the fastest games to Cherry overall. There's a chest right below there, but no key, so nothing to do. We're gonna expend a bit more fuel to get the... Whoop. That's the thing, is if you miss by just a tiny bit in Waldorf, then all of a sudden you've just used up like 3/4 of your fuel. Managing to keep that fuel efficiency is key to a successful Waldorf run. And also making sure that that wind doesn't get in the way. Yeah, here it is. Alright, a guy at the end of the first stage of Alphazars. That's going to be their 5th boss. Only 2 more needed. Again, if they make it all the way to stage 3 and clear stage 3, then it will count as the defeat 7 bosses for them, as well as ticking off that square and getting them 1 closer to bingo. Although collect 2 cherry discs, that could be a tough one. Uh-oh. Okay, got the pig out of the way, thankfully. Do have a key, not necessarily out of fuel, but plenty of backup birds. If they find a chest, then that is going to be the square at least. Oh, there's a big shell right there, another bird. Gotta be careful, probably don't want to activate the wind. Looks like they'll be activating it anyways. Had to use up that fuel to get on that platform there. Yeah, don't need a lot more shells for the 35 at least. Yeah, a drop like that, especially with the wind right there, is unfortunate. They do have a lot of birds though. They get a little closer. Okay, they just need 1 more shell. Okay, and there's a big shell all the way over there. They only have 1 more bird after this, though. And that is going to do it. They have the 35 shells. They are on the board. Let's go. Not going for the cherry disc, which I think is understandable. They were running pretty low on fuel, birds, and quite frankly, level. Now heading into Caramel. Ooh. Okay, they're going for the prologue. 8,000 points in the prologue if you know what you're doing. Not too bad at all. If you don't know what you're doing, that could be a little tough, but I guess we'll find out. Really gotta use that camera a lot. Smart to be going for the prologue, not for the actual game, because again, a guy is just about done with the bosses. There is a boss at the end of the train, right? Yeah. No, there isn't. Right, I forgot about that. Nan Noon is on stage 3. So actually, they won't get the 7 bosses. Reaching in a prologue. I don't think they're going to be getting to 8,000 on this one. I've actually never seen this done, I don't think. Or well, I probably have seen this done, I just wasn't paying attention. So yeah, 4,000 score. So they're not even, well, they're barely halfway to the prologue goal. So they're going to be heading out. It's fair. Just wanted to test the waters, see if that goal was doable for them. I think that's something you kind of need to practice a little bit before you can really get it on a bingo board. Pondering what they're going to do next. Meanwhile, a guy heading into stage 3, Frost in Town. Rakshasa for JoeyBlast. Beat the first stage. Pretty reasonable goal here. I wonder if they're looking at column 1. Now, unfortunately, I don't think they're ever going to get column 1 done before a guy gets column 3 done. Well, no, cherry discs. You never know. Although, again, a guy is familiar with speedrunning some games of UFO 50. So I wouldn't be surprised if cherry disc was not that big of a deal for them. Remain to be seen. I think the only game I know for sure they're doing is Mooncat. I know they speedrun Mooncat. After that, my knowledge is a blank. The classic, before you even get to play the game, dying in Rakshasa. Everybody's done it at least once. I will say, having done my casual playthrough of Rakshasa with the homing bullets, going back to it after you've cleared it and just playing with the fire does feel very, very nice. It is so strong. And Joey just going. Ignoring a lot of enemies there. A guy looking pretty comfortable, a good amount of lives left. I doubt that this will be a bit of any problem for them to clear the stage 3. A homing is definitely, I think the casual homie is definitely the purple shot. But once you're past the casual play, fire is, it's pretty crazy. It is pretty crazy. Bosses just explode if you can get those shots nailed. I think especially for stage 1, fire is pretty hard though, with the insects and whatnot. Alright, choosing to go to pin golf instead. Pin golf is only for the UFO Open. Golfera is actually on here 3 times. I didn't notice collect 3 clubs. If you are an adept Golfera player, this board is mighty nice. So yeah, pin golf here is really just get the gold disc to make progress towards the UFO Open goal. I'm looking at UFO Open as probably my favorite of the that sort of like themed general goal of having to do stuff in multiple games. Man, pin golf stage 2 is really hard. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, pin golf gold disc, not too long if you really know what you're doing. Even if you put your mouth back in, try again. Even if you don't know what you're doing, pin golf gold disc is not super long. As long as you don't fail. That would be the one unfortunate thing that could happen. You can just lose, at which point you've put in a fair amount of minutes and you do not see a return on your usage. Playlist, please continue, please. Alright, heading out of pin golf. Going back to Mini and Max. Very fair. They do know where the brainwashed mouse is, so they can just keep going on that. Meanwhile, a guy heading into the end of stage 3 for their 6th boss and next bingo square. Now, at this point, if they choose to go for cherry discs, which I think they probably will, again, I'm pretty confident that they are active in the speedrunning channel. So they probably know a couple of cherry speedruns offhand. And they can just pull out of thin air. There's Nan Noon. Two flying freaks, quite frankly. Yeah, that well, I guess not boss, but that mini boss guarding the mouse is a little tough. If you get hit once, you're screwed. Alright, back to the drawing board for JoeyBlast. A guy is done with stage 3. It's going to be 6 bosses for them. Heading into Vanger for JoeyBlast. A guy not choosing to continue Alphazars. Interesting, because they hadn't used a continue yet, I don't think, so they were still on the path to Cherry. Magic Garden. Now, there is no magic... Right! They did learn the Magic Garden speedrun. Well, learn. They learned how to play Magic Garden efficiently. So it looks like they'll be going for Magic Garden Cherry. Which I legitimately cannot remember the Magic Garden Cherry requirement offhand. Surely it's just score, right? I don't think UFO Open really needs less pin golf. Again, pin golf gold disc is 4 or 5 minutes if you know what you're doing. And Disconia destroy 5 enemy discs is like 3 minutes, and golf area is like a minute. I think it's fine. Honestly, I've been watching a lot of the bingo matches recently. I don't think I've seen anyone get like any of the cherry squares, because it's tough. It is not easy to go for those. Magic Garden Cherry is honestly one of the scarier ones if you were to ask me, because you make one mistake and whoop, your run's over. Mortal 2 is probably the safest cherry, just in general, for a speedrun. Because just speedrunning it, knowing the speedrun route is basically a guaranteed cherry. Even if I don't even know the 10 key route, not the 4 key route for Mortal 2. I just know the stupider speedrun route, and even then, that's a very easy cherry. Many bingos yet? I believe 2 of the matches for week 1 so far have ended with a bingo, so really not a lot. Now, I will kind of look up, because again, I genuinely don't remember. I will look up the Magic Garden Cherry requirement. The Magic Garden is a game I've really not played much since I've initially finished it. Magic Garden Cherry requirement. $20,000. Okay. It's not too bad. Again, I think they're definitely a little behind on score, but they're leaving a lot of potions lying around, so they just really need to do like one big potion swoop, probably close to the end, and that is going to be very easy to meet. Oh, JoeyBlast. I actually never really saw what the Vanger goal was. Collect 1 key code. Now, the problem with Vanger goals is if you don't know where you're going and what you're doing, you'll be here a while. As someone who loves Vanger but does not know what they're doing anymore in that game, yeah, I wouldn't know where to go for a fast key code. Honestly, the most impressive thing about what we're seeing from a guy right now is the enemy management. Look at how many potions there are and how few enemies there are. It is really impressive. Yeah, I remember, I know he was talking about Mooncat, but he was talking about Mooncat because that was like his worst speedrun nowadays. And he's been doing a lot of Magic Garden recently, it seems. Oh, here it comes. They're building the line. Now just go through it. Yep, there's the score. Yep, keep going. And now they have the cherry score. That I think that is genuinely the most potions I've ever seen on screen. that is a little bit mind-blowing. And now they've very easily met the cherry requirements, and now it's just play the game to the end and they're good to go. $150, so only 50 left now, and they have some potions laying around, and they... No! Ran into their own tail. They did just mark off the second leaderboard, though. Which is true. They did just get on the leaderboard. So that's done. That was... That's an unfortunate death. I mean, at the end of the day, Magic Garden is Snake. You are your own biggest enemy. JoeyBlast making good progress on Vanger. If I'm not mistaken, they're in the Verde sector at this point. I believe this is the Verde sector. Yeah, I really don't remember much about the key codes. I think normally you're supposed to get them sort of in order. So presumably they're going for what would be the level 1 key code. They could also get some bosses done in Vanger. I have not been keeping track of what they've been doing. But there's actually quite a lot of bosses in Vanger, so... Vanger. How do you all say the game that's being played on the right of the screen? Vanger. That Metroid game. So the only general goals left are, again, bosses and cherry discs. Still haven't seen a cherry disc from either side, even though they've both been pretty close. Again, JoeyBlast was probably on pace for the Seaside Drive cherry and chose to abort just for the leaderboard. A guy was pretty close to Kick Club, but unfortunately, I think they really wanted the gold disc, but Kick Club is a very hard game, so Kick Club happened. And there was also Alphazar, and they were actually pretty close to the end of Alphazar and chose to dip out at the last stage. Magic Garden is slowly restarting on the guy's side. Some nice potions on screen. Oppies slowly being cleared. Getting a little bit of score. Not too much. I'm really trying to remember where the key code is, and I think they're on the right path. I believe the first key code is indeed in Verde Sector, but I could not remember where. Oh, actually, no, it is here, isn't it? This area looks mighty familiar. I do think they're on the right track. Remembering where stuff is in Vanger is definitely incredibly powerful when it comes to bingo goals. One of those games I really ought to study at some point. I believe in the Vanger update that makes the camera much better than it currently is. big line there for a guy. Joey, I do believe, is very close to the end. Don't necessarily have a lot of lives, though. Gotta be careful. And they do have... No, this one's not a boss. Yeah, they're running out of clones, though. I think we're gonna see the line here from... Yep, here it comes. It's the scoring line. And with absolute ease meets the cherry requirement. Now they just have to beat the game. But the last time I said that, the incident happened. Yeah, guys, at this point, the problem is you've used a lot of golden potions, which means you have more savable oppies on screen, which is good. You get to play faster, but also then you run into the risk of running into your own tail. Game speed has just gone up drastically. Joey did find a spot to heal, I suppose. They have their clones back. Assuming no horrible incidents, then the guy should be pretty close to being done. A lot of potions left on screen, so the enemies themselves are not a problem at this point. The only problem is whether they run into their own stuff. Just 2 more, and that'll do it. Their first cherry disc is done, a magic garden. So now if they just get another cherry disc out of the way, then that is going to be bingo, and we'll mark the end of the match. And they're going for Waldorfs, trying where Joey could not. Waldorf's definitely a risky play. It is a very, very, very fast cherry. Probably... I want to say it's the fastest. No, it might not be the fastest. It's close to the fastest, though. But, you know, it is a bit of a hard game. And by a bit of a hard game, I mean it's an endless struggle. No cherries for Joey, no. Got close on Seaside Drive, but they opted to head out and just take the leaderboard instead. Alright, guy's got a key. It's pretty good. Ooh, Joey taking a def to the boss in Verde Sector. Honestly, very understandable. That's not an easy boss at all. We'll just keep going. Again, very understandable. You don't really lose a lot of progress in Ranger. Yeah, I mean, unless a guy gets stuck here for the next hour, which, considering Waldorf, very possible. But yeah, unless they get stuck here for the next hour, I think we might be seeing the end of this game pretty soon. Not a bad start for a guy, although about halfway through and they're not halfway up on their shells right now. That's when they really just gotta find a chest. Oh, and here comes the wind. That dastardly wind. I'm gonna backtrack a little bit to try to get that wind stopped. Very reasonable. And there goes the wind. Meanwhile, Joey back on the boss. I actually wasn't sure. I had to like double check real quick. They do have the heat shot on, which makes this boss faster. Oof, those little insects. You really got to get those insects out of the way, I think. Otherwise, it's they just pile up and they get in the way, and you can't deal with that. Oh, big damage there for Joey. That was pretty good. Well, a guy a little bit underestimate, I'd say. They just got to the halfway point, but officially they are at the 55% mark. Oh no, that was so close to the boss kill on Joey. Really rough. This boss is a bit of a menace. I mean, you're taking so much damage per hit in here. You only have, like, what 4 hits? And the insects also deal as much damage as the boss, so... Because they deal more damage. I feel we may be seeing another game over here. Nope, nope, they got it done. The boss was a little kind to them, although now they do have to get to a save point. Key code acquired, never mind. I forgot the save point spots on the boss. So that is a second square for Joey, who will now be leaving Ranger. And also another boss. Let me mark that down. At this point, if you're Joey, you're probably looking at the square, you're thinking, okay, I think I'm probably a little cooked. That guy definitely getting pretty close in terms of both shells and the end. That was a risky jump. Now Campanella, I guess just going for Cherry? Bold play. Yeah, you do. So they're... I mean, they're doing a good job with the gold route. Yeah, they're doing a good job with the gold route. Unfortunately, that's not the cherry route. A guy needs to make this jump right here. Unfortunately, with the wind, that's going to be a little difficult, and I'm assuming... Oh, yeah, they just used up the last of their fuel. Okay, that might do it right there. Oh, right into the abyss, unfortunate. That is back to the start for a guy. A Waldorf taketh. Back to the beginning. Still in very good shape, but, yeah, it's going to be a little bit longer. I do wonder, looking at the board, what would be one of the... If I were to play this board, what would I go for as a bingo? I wish I could say with confidence that I would do anything with the minion max goal, but I have not studied that one yet, so... That one's not happening. Honestly, I would probably be looking for row 5. The Waldorf's 35 shells. Tough, but not too tough. Devilish Goal is interesting, and I kind of want to try it anyways. Track roll for Kit Club. It's a 5-minute time. It's not too bad, and if you can do it kind of like later, so you can pivot into Kit Club Gold Disc if needed as well. The Caramel. If you know how to do it, again, it's not too bad, and UFO Open is pretty interesting. That would be the one I would go for, personally. You'd be surprised. Again, one par bot in Golfaria is you can just kind of like run around a little bit and you'll probably just stumble into one. Okay, heading out of Waldorf's. What will they be going for here? Oh, Seaside Drive's looking tempting. Where's Glove? Oh, never mind. I mean, if you know the Valkyrie speedrun, that's actually not that bad, but... I think the big plays here, Barbuda. That's a scary one to go for. That is a very scary chair to go for. That is... the bats. Well, I guess you can buy eggs at the end. Never mind. I always forget you can just buy eggs right before the boss. I'll tell you, I did not know that when I first cherried Barbuda. Barbuda. Barbuda or Barbuda? These games all have funky names and we don't know how to say them. JoeyBlast still just playing Campanella, really. This doesn't get any progress towards... Well, I guess it's making bosses. I did forget about that, but that defeat 7 bosses goal. Campanella does give a lot of progress towards that. That is their 7th boss. The guy has 1 cherry right now. A Barbute. Yeah, fair enough. Barbuda, huh? Now, I didn't see 7 bosses, though. I saw 6, but again, I'm not gonna say that I was keeping a good track. 3 in Seaside, 2 in Campanella. They got 1 in Vanger. They probably got another one in Vanger as well. I was not looking too much at Vanger. Going into Party House now, we do have get a climber to 9 popularity. Fairly doable, honestly. Oh, here come the bats. I'm curious to see if they know the speedrun route for Barbuda. Which I say that, but even if they were, I couldn't call it out because I don't know it myself. That was very bold, waiting for that cherry. That's a bat. Waiting for that bat. So yeah, pick up the necklace to get the platforms moving, go back up, get the key, and then just go to the boss. The problem is if you run into a bat like that, heading out of Barbuda, okay, choosing to go back to Waldorf, you can, in theory, get money and go to the end, at which point you can buy eggs to compensate for your deaths. But then you have to go and get money. Well, how much is it actually for one of those eggs at the end of the game? I'm assuming it's probably 100 cash. In order to pop, yeah. That's really not that bad. There's 50 kind of on the way, right below where the platforms start going up. I think there's another 50 pretty close to the end as well. I could be wrong on that. Otherwise, you do have to make a bit of a detour. Looks like it'll be the Waldorf journey to the end here. Waldorf is definitely a bit of a struggle, even if you know what you're doing. Now, I haven't seen a climber yet at all from Joey. They do have one. Oh, it is actually at 7. Yeah, I was just not paying attention. Party House goes by very fast. They do have a climber all the way up at 7 already, which... I'm guessing that's why they went for the one with the Grill Master, so to get the climber even more. So get him back out, get him back in, get him back out, get him back in, get him back out, get him back in. Pretty smart play there. And that is a climber to 9 popularity, the 4th square for Joey. If it wasn't for the fact that a guy is almost certainly going to get this bingo, Joey would be making a bit of a comeback here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 to 4 right now. Coming back from 3 squares behind is absolutely possible. But you just can't beat a bingo. Heading into golf area. Honestly, considering the knowledge that Joey was displaying in Vanger, I would not be surprised they actually remembered quite a bit about golf area as well. So we could see a couple golf area squares being marked off here. Again, we have 3 clubs, the Blockbuster, and then part of the UFO Open is to hit a par bot. All pretty quick stuff. But again, golf area is golf area, as we might... It is entirely possible that we just see kind of just some clubbing around for a while. A guy making pretty good progress on the cherry disc right now at 35 shells, well before the halfway point. Plenty of fuel as well. Oh, beautiful jump right there. Get the birdie, get some strokes back. Another key, wonderful. If they find another chest, that's... They're basically at the cherry at that point. Music might be a little goofy for what we're currently seeing. Hey, that's the playlist. And they are going pretty far forwards here without necessarily checking below them. They might have skipped the chest, hopefully not. Let's point if they find it, and even if they don't find it, actually just keep going. That was an unfortunate jump there. Okay. Now, just check below you, will ya? Oh, and here comes that wind. Ooh, lucky landing. You can't go to the end just yet. You gotta get some more shells. Oh, the chest is right there. Unbelievable luck. So now they just need to make the jump to the end. Oh, jumps plural. Oh, that's one miss. That was their last possible miss, and they are out of fuel. It's going to be tight. Oh, oh. That's not a nice angle. Those are blocks. You can't jump up through that. And that wind's not going away. Don't do it! No! Oh, Waldorf strikes back. Looks like they'll just be going with what they're comfortable with, just spending a bunch of time in Mooncat, which is totally fair. Mooncat Cherry is definitely not a fast one, but at this point, whatever you're comfortable with. Plus, Mooncat looks cool. We don't get to see high-level Mooncat gameplay very often. You know, I have not been keeping track of what happened on Joey's screen because of that intense Waldorf gameplay. No clubs, it looks like. They did not mark... Well, they didn't mark off a Parbot, but, I mean... There is one right there. Looks like they're going for it, actually. Well, they're running out of... strokes. No, don't do it. Just go for the Parbot. What are you doing? No! You're out! You're out of strokes! Yeah, back to the start. I do wonder what they were going for exactly there. I guess I don't really remember where the clubs are. So that could be what I was missing. They did just... Oh. You know, I never remember that the enemies respawned in Mooncat. Yeah, of course. I'm guessing they're just looking for clubs here because they're not going for the blockbuster at all. Which is actually a shame because I looked at it on the map while I was doing some research. And I think if you go for the blockbuster, you basically, like, unlock... like 6 or so clubs are very easy to get. There's very good synergy between these two goals here. But they don't necessarily seem keen on going for the blockbuster, so... This might end up taking a little longer. As Mooncat gameplay is crazy. A blockbuster is very quick to get. Yeah, there's a you can go for the blockbuster, skipping all the strokes on the way. It's pretty easy to get to. It takes, I think my best I've done it is like a minute and a half for the blockbuster. It's very, very fast. One of the fastest gifts. And then, again, there's a club 2 strokes away, and then if you go to the south a little bit, there's a super long tunnel of caves with like 6 clubs or something that you can really easily get with the blockbuster. Unfortunately, it looks like Joey might not be aware of that, so... Yeah, a guy had a very, very unfortunate accident right at the end of Waldorf's. So it looks like they'll just be going for Mooncat Cherry as their second cherry. Which again makes sense because I know Mooncat is something that a guy has speedrun in the past. So I think they're very comfortable with it. Yeah, at this point, better to just go for the games that you're comfortable with. Just get it done with. Still on the route for the first egg. The Waldorf incident happened just a few short minutes ago. Right, this is the route to the red egg, I believe. sneaking into here, finding that hidden warp. I guess the Sky Egg is probably a better name for it. Now, Joey getting the Parbot. That is progress towards the UFO open goal. Now that bunny is getting pummeled. That was mighty impressive. Yeah, the red egg. Now back into Mooncat. Time for the next path. Alright, Joey heading out of Golf Area. Might choose to go back to Pin Golf for the gold disc. Devilish going to try to get that other square again that they tried to do earlier. If you get some pretty decent luck here, this is going to be a pretty fast one. Looks like our other league match for the night might have ended. Oh, bingo went impressive. Oh yeah, keep as many pieces as you can possibly get for the second round. And try to full clear the board here. They do have a cannon. 15 pieces to full clear out this board. That is very doable. I wouldn't do that if I were you. No, you're missing one. You're missing one. Don't forget about that one. Uh-oh. Wait, no, as long as they get a plus right here, the bomb. Just put the bomb in the right spot. Yes, you got it. Devilish, I will say, having done it a little bit, playing Devilish fast is very fun. And that is going to clear the screen, no demons left, and they have 10 pieces. Well, 11 pieces actually, but at least 10. That is the 5th square for Joey. A fast Devilish gameplay is... I haven't looked at that 4-minute speedrun yet, but... Hello, I love Mooncat. Hope you're enjoying this Mooncat gameplay here. Yeah, heading back into Pin Golf, gonna try to get that UFO open goal. And if you know it, Pin Golf Gold Disc is not terribly long or hard, but as long as you've played bingo before. Yeah, Ryan 4 PM, that's the current holder. I really gotta watch that. So, I mean, they basically beat the entire game in the time that it takes me to beat round 5. Well, not even beat round 5, just get to round 5. Yeah, Mooncat Cherry is not something you would ever really see in a match. I think a guy is the only one who could really pull this off. Because I think the longest goal for Mooncat is 2 eggs? I think there was 25 rooms, but I think that might have gotten removed after last night. So the current longest Mooncat goal would probably be 2 eggs then. Got changed to 12 rooms? Yeah, very reasonable. Yeah, 25 rooms in Barbuda and 25 rooms in Mooncat. Definitely not equivalent. Not even close. Now, Joey making pretty good progress towards that gold disc right now. Definitely going a lot better than their earlier run. Yeah, I mean, there's so many games with faster cherries. But if you're comfortable with Mooncat at this point, I think if I'm a guy right now, and I am, but if I'm a guy specifically, I'm looking at this 2 cherry disc skulls and I'm thinking Joey's probably not going for it. So at this point, it's just if I get it, it's bingo. And so at this point, it doesn't really matter what disc you go for the cherry. Just get something, get it done. And honestly, after what happened in Barbuda and Waldorf, it's very reasonable to just go for a game you're familiar with. They were genuinely just like 1 jump away from the end in Waldorf's, and unfortunately no fuel plus the wind plus a bad layout. Yeah, reasonable. In fact, a lot of the fastest cherries are very, very risky to go for. You know, stuff like Quibble Race. Yeah, Quibble Race is a pretty fast cherry, but are you really gonna do that in like the same time as the speedrun does it? They bounced out of that place? I've never seen that before. Wow. They're still on very good shape for Gold Disc, even Cherry Disc maybe. That's something I hadn't considered. I think a guy is far enough that it doesn't matter, but you could get Pin Golf Cherry. Guy being the world head. Beautiful. But yeah, I mean, no one's replicating that in a race. Quibble Race is a fun speedrun because you just kind of do it, and then it's gambling. It's just gambling. A guy kind of struggling with this one warp right here. They got a red egg. Presumably heading for the yellow egg here. I don't remember which one was which in Mooncat. But I think I remember the green egg path, and this doesn't look like the green egg path to me. The guy is pretty close. In theory, if nothing goes exceptionally wrong, we should be seeing a bingo in a couple minutes. Yeah, green does take a little while. This would be the second and final cherry for a guy, so that would be the bingo. A guy is indeed going for cherries. Currently has the... I forgot what it was, cherry. But definitely has 1 cherry. Whatever that game was, it was the cherry. And after many accidents in Barbuda and Waldorf's respectively, is instead going for one of the games that he's the most familiar with, Mooncat. Meanwhile, Joey is trying to get some progress done towards the UFO Open goal. Cursor, yeah, the cursor's been there the whole time. It is what it is. Magic Garden, correct. They did get the Magic Garden cherry. Thanks for the reminder. Which, that was beautiful, actually. A very beautiful cherry run for Magic Garden. Now, JoeyBlast just about done with pin golf. I think they're perfectly fine for scoring here. Yeah, this probably... Well, they could get birdie here, and at which point it's a cherry disc. And even if they mess up pretty hard on this hole, it's pretty much guaranteed to be the gold disc at least. Ah, barely misses the eagle finish. No, misses the birdie finish. That's not going to be cherry disc, that's going to be gold disc. But gold disc is what you need for the UFO Open. It just doesn't make any progress towards blocking the bingo, which they're not going for anyways, but... So we're heading into Disconia now. Yeah, I remember seeing the speedrun for the Ghost boss, and this one's a tricky one. I suppose at this point the race is very much just, can a guy get bingo before time? If they can't, there's honestly a pretty possible chance. Well, no, Joey would need at this point 3 squares to take the lead. How many eggs left? 2 eggs. So this boss plus the green egg. Assuming this boss doesn't take too long, then I think they'll make it. They are a speedrunner after all, so shouldn't be too bad. If they don't, Joey could, and I say could get 3 squares, at which point they would actually win. I don't think we'll be seeing that, but it is a possibility. If they only get 2 squares and they lose by tiebreak, unfortunately. This Ghost is really messing up a guy right now. The glitch associated with this boss, actually I'm not very familiar with that. Mooncat speedrun is not something I've seen a lot. Yeah, Joey did try a Caramel prologue. Did not get anywhere close and then bailed out, which I think is pretty fair. Ah, yeah. Yeah, first stage Rock Sasha we've also seen from Joey. And they tried it, did not necessarily get very far. Yeah, this boss is kind of owning a guy right now. I must confess. They also do have an amount of progress in a Mini and Max. They have the glove and the magic potion, so they could, in theory, beat the boss to save the brainwashed mouse. They do know where it is. They went there many times. Just did not quite manage to defeat the Guardian of the Mouse. Yeah, this is... Things are happening on the left for sure. JoeyBlast choosing to reset, which is fair. I think they were getting kind of pummeled by a champion on the enemy side. How long ago was it that, I was looking at how long it's been since a guy's been going for 2 cherry discs. Back into Waldorf. Oh my lord. Desperate times call for desperate measures. And honestly, fair, that Ghost boss is very tricky, so. Joey is indeed going for UFO open. Yeah, heading back into Waldorf. Again, a guy has had 2 very close calls on the cherry for Waldorf. Unfortunately, one of them dying at about 90% and one of them dying right at the end, just with an unfortunate layout before the last jump. So hopefully this, 3rd time's the charm, you know, 3rd time's the charm. I do have the key. I'm not worried about their ability to get shells. They just got to get a bunch of birds, keep some fuel, find those chests, find those shells, and we're in good hands. Good flaps? I guess I don't really know what you would call a walrus's... They're not really wings. I wouldn't call them wings. Well, they have a name. My English is failing me right now, though. Yeah, they got good flips, they got good flaps. Yeah, flippers. We'll call them flippers. The guy is kind of going over a lot of territory, not necessarily looking for that chest. Clearly they're wings. They're definitely not wings. That is the last thing I would call them. Oh, and here comes the wind. This is where Waldorfs can turn into a nightmare. Another key there. So at this point, I think they've definitely missed the first chest. Are there actual stats for that? I actually didn't know that. Or is there weather vane right there anyways? So they'll just be ignoring it. Then maybe they know about the 65%. Or maybe they just like the wind. Although at this point, what is more scary is the fact that they don't really have a lot of shells. Okay, yeah, there goes the wind, but it'll start back up pretty soon. The only problem is, again, they gotta find... Okay, they did find a chest right there. They gotta go to it now. Okay. That's good. Unfortunately, again, I believe the first chest was much earlier in the level. So at this point, they just have to hope that there's enough shells. The big shells are 4. There's 1. I only need 3 smaller shells. Ooh, good landing there, too. That was a very tight jump. A UFO open has been marked off by Joey. I'm sorry, there's riveting Waldorf's gameplay going on. Oh, and yep, there's the saved. The winds change. However, they do have to find 1 shell. Plenty of fuel. They just have to find the shell. Alright, again, people have said that it is at the end, actually. Oh, this is killing the bit, right? But yep, there they go. Joey heading back into Golfaria, but that is going to do it. I will stop the timer. In the nick of time. Congratulations to a guy for his bingo win. Let me turn off the screen as well so we don't see too much stuff. What's up, a guy?
Hello?
Hello?
Feeling a little embarrassed about some of my performances there, but
Well, Waldorf's, you know, it takes and it gives.
I personally did some embarrassing stuff too, like Minnie and Max. No clue what was happening there, but we live.
Yeah, no, that was a very rough
Yeah.
start for you, Joey. I mean, it took,
Yeah.
what, like 40 minutes to... You went into like 5 games at the start, just couldn't get anything going.
Yeah, no.
That's
I
always one of
had
those
good
rough.
pace later on, though. I haven't played this game in like months.
Oh yeah, no, the moment that you finished Vanger, you were just knocking them down.
Yeah. Yeah, like Party
Yeah,
House,
you did-
I would have like immediately knocked out Party House, given like I saw it early on, because get a climber to 9 popularity, it's like probably one of the easiest like requirements in this whole thing, I'd have to guess. Not just this big,
It is
but
very
just this
easy,
board. Yeah.
You know, I mean,
Plus
it was
Party
like
House
what?
probably the most played game in this too.
It was like what, 7-1 at some point. And you brought it all the way back, finishing at 8-6. Honestly, if Waldorfs had continued struggling a little bit, and if things were a little bit different, this could have totally been a victory for you, Joey.
But what were you
Yeah,
going
it
to carry
could've-
on? Also, did you see my pin golf game there?
I did see the pin golf golders. That was very good. I was a bit sad at the
One
end.
away from a cherry.
Yeah, no, that right at the end missed the eagle and then the birdie.
Hmm.
Did you go for the cherries as well?
I would have, because Seaside Drive, I know I can get a cherry if I just like lock it in for. But pin golf is what decided like, no, I'm not going for cherries.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
possibly should have gone for Seaside Drive. It might have got me there quicker, given my performance.
Honestly,
I went into
yeah,
Waldorf.
Seaside Drive's like my most consistent game in this whole pack.
Yeah. I attempted Kick Club. I got through to World 4 and then died on USA World because it's USA World. But that would have been such a fun one to get because it would have been Kick Club Gold Disc plus a Cherry Disc.
Honestly, I haven't even
just-
like beaten
I'm
Kick
bad
Club
at the final
casually.
world.
Kick club's
I haven't
hard.
even beaten World 2 casually. It's really hard.
I'm consistent up until World 4. Like, I can almost always get to World 3 boss and beat it. So I do that in
Yeah.
bingo fairly often. But after that, very inconsistent.
How'd you get max HP so fast?
You just can do it really fast in a number of games. Porgy, the fuel tank counts.
Mm.
Overbold, you do a 200 round and go and then buy health upgrade if it didn't get price hiked. Then you can go Grimstone, and leveling up counts as upgrading your health. I
Mhm.
didn't though, because I went to Mini and Max because I knew it was on the board. And then if you go just to the right of the door where you get the potion from and shrink
Mhm.
down, there's a health upgrade there.
Huh.
And what was the other one I did it in?
Alphazar's.
Alphazar's hat. If you get an extend with 3 purples, that counts as max health increase as well.
Right.
So all of those are very quick.
Yeah. That one seemed like really hard to me, just like not immediately knowing what to do. Overbold is an interesting one. Yeah.
Yeah. I recommend learning those kinds of goals because things like 8 eggs, 8 shops, max HP, food and beverages are really quick if you know them. And really easy. But if you don't know them, then they're very hard to work out.
Right.
The one cherry I was surprised to not see
Yeah.
you go for, a guy, was Alphazar's. You were past stage 3, you could have just finished.
I have never finished the game. I don't know it, and I'm bad at stage 4.
Alright, fair enough.
Yeah.
If I knew Alphazars, I would have, because I was in stage 3 and I could have just gone for it. I was pretty far through, but I was not confident in my abilities.
Totally fair.
But yeah. I went into Waldorf's, did a few attempts, got one that went almost to the end. I did a couple of attempts at Barbuda and gave up very quickly on those. Then I went to Mooncat and realized I really, really, really do not know the ghost boss, and I was going to run out of time to do the final egg before the game ended. So I went back into Waldorf's again and got it finally. My other cherry was Magic Garden.
Yeah, beautiful
Okay.
Magic Garden.
Yeah, that's an easy one.
Yeah, it's very straightforward.
Alright, I think I'm gonna stop the stream there. Thank you everyone for coming. Pretty sure there's more matches tomorrow, so stay tuned
Probably.
for more bingo. I mean, over the next 8 weeks.
Yep.
Alright, see you everyone.
Do I like go? Wait, before we leave, do I like go on after this, or
Go
like I
on.
lost this one?
Oh.
Like in the tournament, I mean.
Oh, it's an open format. So for the next 8 weeks, you'll have a match each week. After those 8 weeks,
Yeah.
then Matt will determine who goes to the playoffs and whatnot.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, for now it's just playing, and then the tournament will be at the end of the 8 weeks.
Cool. Right.
So everyone's still in.
Pro.
All right, in that case, thank you everyone for watching, and see you soon.
Right, see ya.